I'm VJ Hamilton and welcome to the Autoimmune Reset, the place for you to learn how to thrive with autoimmune disease and feel empowered to take steps to transform your health to feel better than ever. You can start making changes today to improve your health. So with every episode, my mission is to share with you simple ways to up-level your diet and lifestyle with key learnings from my own journey reversing autoimmune disease and inspirational stories from those who have reset their autoimmune symptoms and are now thriving in life. I suffered from autoimmune disease for over 25 years and now I live symptom-free, and I wish the same for you as well. So thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to today's Friday 5. I'm your host VJ Hamilton. I'm a nutritionist, a scientist and expert in autoimmune disease. And today I want to talk about 5 essential nutrients for a vegetarian diet if you have autoimmune disease, because I regularly work with clients who have a preference for either a vegan or vegetarian diet, and I need to work with them where they are at. And yes, there are going to be some nutrients missing on a vegetarian diet, but if you are aware of those and you make choices to ensure that you incorporate those nutrients into your diet, that can be extremely helpful. I know for religious reasons or ethical reasons, people are vegetarian and I want to support that. I was vegetarian myself for 11 years for ethical reasons, and it was quite hard to move back to eating meat. I mean, I've always enjoyed the taste and the flavour of eating meat, but I just didn't like the thought of it. And it took me a while to be able to start introducing it and eating it regularly. And now I believe in the food chain, and that's why I've become comfortable with it. But everybody has their own beliefs, and some people just don't like eating meat, and that's absolutely fine. And that's why I want to share this podcast episode with you today, because if you are vegetarian, then these are the key vitamins that you need to make sure that you are getting from other sources, because they are commonly found in animal products, but not so much in vegetarian products. So the first one is vitamin B12, which was a particular issue for me. I had enlarged red blood cells, which meant that my blood wasn't able to circulate as well as it should do, and you can see how that could potentially lead to hair loss. If the blood cells are large, it means that they can't get into the capillaries. So there are various reasons for that, but one of the reasons can be a vitamin B12 deficiency. And when I did a test, I was vitamin B12 deficient, the functional vitamin B12 test, which is methylmalonic acid, rather than the serum test. So if you are vegetarian and you are struggling with energy or any nerve issues, then it might be worth looking into whether you have a vitamin B12 deficiency. But when it comes to vitamin B12, if you're looking at supplementing, then methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin are the types of vitamin B12 that I would recommend, because they are more bioavailable in the body. As I mentioned, vitamin B12 is especially important for nerve function and DNA synthesis. So when you are low, it can affect lots of different areas in your health, including your hair, but also your nerve function, and it can often mimic multiple sclerosis. So you can have very similar symptoms of multiple sclerosis if you have a vitamin B12 deficiency as well. So it's definitely worth ruling that out. And as I said, vitamin B12 is common in animal products, but not so much in vegetarian products. And there are certain foods that contain vitamin B12, like nutritional yeast, tempeh, nori seaweed, and some fermented foods like miso and sauerkraut will also have vitamin B12. So if you're not eating meat, then you can get vitamin B12 from these other foods. And even if you are eating meat, it's worth eating those other foods as well, because they are highly nutrient dense and provide a really great source of vitamin B12. Next, I'm sure you're not surprised, is iron. And iron, again, is crucial for oxygen transport and energy production. And I find a lot of clients will come to me with extremely low ferritin levels. And this can be a factor because I don't think we realise how reliant we are on iron from animal products rather than iron from plant-based products, because it's actually less bioavailable, which means our bodies can't utilize it as much. When it comes to plants, some sources of iron can be legumes such as lentils, chickpeas and kidney beans. Certain seeds like pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds also have iron, and then the dark leafy greens also contain iron. But because it isn't as bioavailable, you are best to have these foods with vitamin C, because that can help you absorb the iron in them. But worth getting tested if you are vegetarian and you are having any symptoms of iron deficiency. One of the most common ones is fatigue, and just get that checked and then decide whether supplementation is going to be right for you. Work with a health practitioner when it comes to supplementing, especially iron, because actually iron can be inflammatory when there are too high amounts of iron. So it's crucial to know what your current baseline is before supplementing. Next is omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are found mainly in oily fish. You can get them from vegetarian sources as well, but it is a different type of omega-3 which isn't as bioavailable, and that's where the main issue is. There are certain foods which contain these vitamins and minerals, but they are not always as bioavailable, so you need to be a bit smarter when you're making certain choices as a vegetarian, or consider supplementing. You can get omega-3s from things like flaxseed, chia seed, hemp seeds, walnuts, but it depends on your genetics and also the environment of your body at that moment in time, how well you are going to be able to transform that type of omega-3 to the more active form of omega-3, which has that anti-inflammatory effect, which is EPA and DHA. But you can also now find some algae-based sources of EPA and DHA. So have a look out for those, because they can be some really great active omega-3 sources rather than getting them from the plant-based foods. The next mineral is zinc, and zinc is absolutely crucial for your immune function, but also wound healing. And obviously with an autoimmune disease, it is when your immune becomes dysfunctional that there is an issue. So you need to make sure that you're getting good sources of zinc. There are various vegetarian sources of zinc. Again, legumes are a good source of zinc, certain nuts such as almonds and cashews, and then seeds like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, as well as some of the whole grains such as quinoa and oats. However, again, this type of zinc isn't always as bioavailable, and actually some of these foods that contain things like zinc can be inflammatory for people with autoimmune disease. So you need to find the balance, and I think that's why I came to the decision that I needed to start eating meat, because I just didn't feel like I was going to be able to get all these nutrients from diet alone. And as I said, you can supplement, and that might be something you consider doing. For example, there are lots of zinc supplements on the market, but you can supplement something like zinc picolinate, zinc citrate, and that is going to help lift your zinc levels. And you can also test your zinc levels to know where they're at, because it's just crucial to know that zinc will displace magnesium. So you don't want to be taking lots and lots of zinc and then that causing you to become magnesium deficient. So just bear that in mind when it comes to zinc. And last but not least, vitamin D, because vitamin D is found in some of the animal-based products, including eggs actually. So if you are eating eggs on a vegetarian diet, then you may be getting a good source of vitamin D. But the truth is, the best source of vitamin D is the sunshine. Obviously go in the sun safely, but the more of your skin that is exposed, the more likely you are to produce more vitamin D. So I will often go out for a dog walk when it is fairly nice weather outside and just try and expose more of my skin, but for a shorter length of time. That's probably the safest way to do it. But you need to kind of work with your own genetics and the advice from your own doctor. But that is a really great way to absorb, and produce vitamin D by your own body. But you can find vegetarian sources of vitamin D as well, such as putting mushrooms actually on a window ledge can help them absorb the sunshine, and they create vitamin D like we do. So if you leave mushrooms out on a window ledge in the sunlight, then they're going to have a higher content of vitamin D. But again, just so you are aware, the type of vitamin D that you get from plant-based foods isn't quite the same as the vitamin D3 that you get from animal products. So it's not as bioavailable, and actually it is excreted from the body more quickly. So you are going to have to keep your levels topped up more if you are obtaining vitamin D from plant-based foods. There is also the option to supplement, so work with your health practitioner on that, because there are some risks by taking too much vitamin D. You can also check in with your vitamin D levels by doing a test with your doctors, and you can do some tests that you can purchase online through companies like Thriver now, so you can check in with your levels to know whether you are vitamin D deficient or not. So here are my top 5 nutrients that you need to make sure that you are bringing into your diet through other means if you're a vegetarian with an autoimmune condition. If you have any questions about this, then feel free to send me a message at the Autoimmunity Nutritionist, and feel free to join my forum, the Autoimmune Forum. I'm sharing lots of recipes on there, including plant-based recipes, so I'd love to have you over there. If not, have a fantastic weekend, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Autoimmune Reset. I really hope you enjoyed the discussion, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And if you liked it, I would hugely appreciate a review on iTunes, as it helps me understand what you like about the podcast and to help share the information with more people. I'm excited to speak to you next time, and remember, you have the power to take the reins on your health. So keep the faith and celebrate the small wins. Until next time.